I got me bag of cookies for Cookie Trenty.
He sounds
Hang
like
on.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Big cookie.
Oh.
Oh, and it's gonna go right in my tummy. Oh
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Well, I think I found my promo for today's episode.
Cookie Monster.
And we're on.
Hi, everybody, and welcome here to the very first of what I'm hoping is going to be a weekly talk show thing here called Nascar Talk 2015. Today's going to be the special Sprint Unlimited edition, which is going to be run tonight, the Sprint Unlimited, to start off the 2015 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season. I'm being joined here for this weekend's talk show by Trent Dunham, James Qualls, Michael Norman, and Nathan Hudson. How you guys doing?
Okay.
We all right?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, so we got a lot to cover here because we're going to not only cover the Sprint Unlimited, but we're also going to, since we have between this time and next Saturday, we have the Daytona 500 pole day qualifying as well as the Budweiser Duels. So we'll be talking about those a bit too. But we're going to first concentrate on the Sprint Unlimited. And of course, the big story coming into this one is the option that NASCAR gave to drivers on whether they wanted to run the Sprint Unlimited or not. If they decided no, the driver next lowest, or next highest rather, in the point standings from 2014 would move into the Sprint Unlimited. What's your general opinion on that whole concept?
Gives more people a chance to get into the Sprint Unlimited. So being, like look at Casey Mears. I don't remember him winning a pole last season, and now look, he's in the Sprint Unlimited. So it gives a lot of people more chance to get into the Sprint Unlimited, just to have their fun Saturday night racing at Daytona.
Yeah, I agree with Michael with that statement. It really gives like a lot of drivers that who aren't on the map as much as the big names like Jimmy Johnson, Gordon, or Harvick. Yeah, it really gives them like a chance to get a feel of the track like before they get into the 500 qualifying and then eventually the 500 itself.
It's a perfect opportunity for someone that didn't get much success from last season to have a big chance in the Unlimited to race with the big guys and the big names.
I agree with all of them. That it gives them a chance, But then, I'm an old school NASCAR guy. Cause I'm like, why did they have to screw up the rules and everything? It's like not really screw it up, but making things more complicated. I mean, the race. You remember, well, we all weren't here when the first shootout started back in '79, but it used to be all about pole winners from the previous season. So, I mean, if it was pole winners from the previous season now, it'd probably be less and less in the field, I would suspect. But
I'm kind of broken up about this. I actually kind of like the concept because you do have an opportunity to be able to see other drivers get on track that you normally wouldn't. It could add a little bit more of a different scenario in the Sprint Unlimited. You don't have the drivers that necessarily got poles. You've got a couple surprises in there. But I'm kind of gotta, for the most part, go with Qualls on this. And even though my driver, Casey Mears, did make the Sprint Unlimited, it kind of, in my opinion, takes away from the whole concept of getting poles, for 2014. What was the whole point of getting the pole position to qualify for the Sprint Unlimited, and then you decide to turn away the invitation? And I know that a lot of it is based off the fact that last year's Sprint Unlimited was a little bit of a wreck fest, and there were a lot of backup cars that had to be gone to. But still, I mean, that's kind of the risk you run when you qualify for something like that. So I'm a little skeptical on that new ruling and everything, and maybe it'll be a great race tonight. Maybe it will still be a wreck fest, but I kind of think they stepped a little bit out of the old concept of the Sprint Unlimited, and it's not exactly a Sprint Unlimited with the goals that drivers normally would head into the beginning of the season with now.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll probably have to agree on that.
So we got the lineup for the Sprint Unlimited, of course, the random draw that they go through. And for those of you that are watching this, you can check over on jski.com, nascar.com, see the starting lineup while we're looking at it and whatnot. So Paul Menard starts on the pole position for the Sprint Unlimited. Now, obviously, it's a restricted plate track. Where you start isn't necessarily where you're going to finish, but
Right.
thoughts on Paul Menard
Yeah.
starting on the pole for the Unlimited?
Quite a surprise in my books because Paul Menard is really that kind of guy that just really hangs in the background, doesn't get to the front. He just really hangs really low.
Yeah, Paul Menard, he's not really one of those risk takers out there in NASCAR. I mean, he does start on the pole, but at a track like Daytona, you won't stay in one place for a long time unless they start that train racing crap. And Menard does have a win. He did win the Brickyard back in 2011, so
Yep.
so he does have a little bit of like victory to his credit. But Daytona is different than Indy, so
He
who's
won't
to
be up there
say?
for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, I just was going to say, too, you got to remember, too, Paul Menard actually was one of the drivers that got in because somebody decided not to run the Sprint Unlimited, too. So, with that in mind...
Same thing for Casey Mears as well.
Yeah, Casey Mears getting in, Stenhouse getting in, and there was another driver, too, that got in. Oh, Boyer, because of Vickers not racing the Unlimited. So, you got those four.
And Menard's a good runner too, because I don't take nothing away from him. And like Trent said, the Brickyard is obviously a different track because it's no banking there where he won it about 4 years ago. But still, Daytona's a crapshoot and always has been.
And I look at Paul Menard's scenario too. I mean, when you think about it, if I think about Paul Menard, I think back to the time when he and Regan Smith actually. Were at Talladega. Regan Smith ended up going below the yellow line to try and win a race.
Oh,
but
that made me mad.
yeah, but
Yeah.
if you remember, it was Paul Menard that was back behind that. I think he finished in third, and then as a result ended up finishing second because of the penalty Regan was given. But Paul Menard, for the most part, I would say that a restricted plate track is more in his wheelhouse type of racing. Even though his win came at the Brickyard, but it's the faster tracks, and I would say the restricted plate tracks that really are in his wheelhouse.
And let's remember the history RCR has at plate tracks, not just with late Dale Earnhardt, but I mean with Harvick and with about everybody else who's drove for him.
And he does have a teammate that he'll be able to work with tonight, Ryan Newman in the 31.
My member.
Newman almost pulled off Talladega this past fall.
Yeah, so there's the restricted plate program for you right there. So with that being said, we got the whole list here of the drivers that are going to be starting at the front and starting at the back. And Trent actually brought up a thing that took place in yesterday's qualifying, or not qualifying, but the practice session of black flags being handed out to a couple of drivers prior or after the practice session. And
One of them is one of the Haas boys. That's Tony Stewart.
Yep, Stewart, McMurray, and I believe the other one.
Harvick.
Yeah, Harvick.
Harvick.
I mean,
The champ.
yeah. Weigh-ins
Yeah.
on that. What do you think?
Real active a champion there for Harvick. I mean, I don't know what to think, but as soon as McMurray did it too, I was like, seriously.
I think they either were caught out by the. Sorry, my voice has gone a bit weird. They probably were a bit caught out by the black flag, or I don't know. I didn't see the incident. I'm unaware of this, to be fair.
I'm not either, quite honestly.
Right.
So let's go through the unlimited lineup here. Give me a guy that you think in this lineup is going to be the guy to kind of be the underlying driver that's going to get up there at the end and possibly be a factor in the outcome of the Unlimited tonight.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh my God.
Why?
Yep.
Oh dear.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. because he is fresh with the new crew chief. He's out to prove that he deserves a championship, and he's going to do it by winning the Sprint Unlimited.
I tend to agree. Juniors in Daytona, that's a deadly combination, can be. But any of those drivers, except for a name who's person whose name should not be mentioned, as far as I'm concerned, drives that green car, and anyway.
Casey Mears.
No, he's talking. He's talking about KB.
No, he's talking. Yeah.
But anyway,
He's talking about...
any of those drivers except for Danica, can be factors. You know.
Somebody he had to pull the Danica card on that one.
Yeah.
I had to whisper that name because, like I said, that name should be unmentioned as far as I'm concerned. But as far as the guys, any of them can win it, you know. But Junior's looking usually is good at Daytona. Gordon's usually good there, and this track's been known for underdogs too.
And
so Seth may have Seth's wish on. I'm not counting Seth's wish on Mears out neither.
Oh yeah.
You know me. I think McMurray's gonna power through. I mean, everyone knows McMurray's skill at restricted plate tracks, and he has won it at Daytona twice. So
including the 500.
I wouldn't put it past McMurray too. Yeah, he's good at winning non-points races.
Yeah, and Larson's not too bad either. So you got Larson that you can work with.
The possible favorites has got to be the Chip Ganassis.
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
On an off subject, I'm so glad I decided to drink that tablespoon of honey. Otherwise, I would not have been able to talk because of my sore throat.
Well, I'm going to actually go, I would love to go with Casey Mears, but I'm actually going to go, I have to think back to, was it 2008 when Junior moved over to Hendrick Motorsports?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta think about the fact that when he came over to Hendrick Motorsports, it was basically winning the Sprint Unlimited that really kind of established him there. I'm going to go with Carl Edwards because, he's moved over to Joe Gibbs Racing. His two teammates, between the two of them, have 3 Sprint Unlimited wins. I mean, Carl Edwards, he actually finishes really well at restricted plate tracks, too. And so, I think that to establish himself in the Joe Gibbs Racing organization, why not win the first race of the season, albeit a non-points race, but win the Sprint Unlimited?
I have to agree with you because I think Carl Edwards will have the momentum and possibly a very good car heading into the Unlimited, and it could be a good result.
And another thing that Nathan almost brought up. You guys remember when Kyle Busch first came to Joe Gibbs, and when Matt Kenseth first came to Joe Gibbs, how many times that they won that season? Do you think we could possibly see the same thing for Edwards?
I'd love to see Edwards get like 3-4 wins in a season because, the fact of the matter is he really was up there. He wasn't up at the front, so to say, but he was up in the top 5 almost every single week, and he'd kind of move his way up there late in the race.
I'm going to play a wild card and say Carl Edwards could be in the chase, I think.
You think?
Yeah, I don't see him missing the chase this year.
Nah, I think it's because he's got momentum. He's going to Joe Gibbs Racing, and he's got like Danny Hamlet, Busch, and Kenseth to be his tag team mates.
And one other thing, I still can't see Carl Edwards driving a Toyota. all those times he's drove a Ford.
Yeah, I know it's really
odd. Now all ruined.
There are a couple of names that we actually haven't brought up that are in that list. Gordon, last full-time season, maybe.
Oh, yes.
I mean, if you're Gordon, how hard do you try and go for the win here in the Unlimited?
Well, honestly, though, Gordon, how many times has he won the Unlimited?
Twice? He's won it a few times.
He won it twice, 94 and 97. 94 and 97.
Alright, so I don't think the Sprint Unlimited would be necessarily on top of his list. I mean, even though that everyone wants to win the Sprint Unlimited just for bragging rights, I think Gordon's going to focus more of his attention on winning the Daytona 500.
That's what I think too.
I think about Jeff Gordon is he probably isn't going to focus on the Sprint Unlimited, but possibly focusing on getting that title that, in my opinion and some other person's opinion, got screwed out of last year.
Gordon's been screwed out of a few mini championships since the chase.
Exactly. I have to agree with you on
I
that.
think the chase is. I think the chase was at first designed so that way he couldn't win anymore. Yeah, that's just me now.
Well, I have to agree with you on that too. I mean, if you look at the way that he's had a huge points lead year after year after year because of his consistency, then when the chase begins, just because he has maybe 1 or 2 wins and these other guys have 3 or 4 wins, all of a sudden you see him down 7th in the point stands because of the chase. So
and then gets the boot.
It's kind of hard to kind of counter those facts, but.
And he almost had it in 07 until Jimmy Johnson started his usual domination.
Yep.
If you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, any of the Hendrick Motorsport guys would rather be focusing on the Sprint Unlimited, but I would not think Jeff would be. I think he would be focusing later on in the series and what other plans he's got beyond NASCAR at the end of this season.
Yeah, I agree. The thing with Hendrick is, I mean, they haven't won the Sprint Unlimited like Seth said since 2008 with Junior, and I think Johnson and Junior are going to be like the most dedicated right now because with Gordon's final season, he's not going to be as focused on the Sprint Unlimited, but more on the Daytona 500 itself.
And later on.
And of course, if you notice too, none of the Hendrick teammates seem to work with Gordon either. If you notice that,
very, very rarely.
But, you always see Junior paired up with Jimmy Johnson and Casey Kane. Casey Kane can be about the same way. Nobody works with Casey neither.
Yeah, you were just talking about working with another driver. I was actually just looking at the starting lineup, and there are only, I believe, 4 drivers that do not have a teammate with him in the Unlimited. Truex Jr., Stenhouse, Almirola, and Casey Mears.
Well, speaking of Almirola,
they'll all find a way to work together.
Well, what I'm thinking here is, I mean, you got a perfect opportunity for a driver to be able to find a teammate though in tonight's race.
It's Daytona. You're gonna find a partner to tango with out there.
If you're gonna be on if you're in a single team on your own, like you've only got one car, I would rather be with another team that has a single car and then just push along.
Good point.
It's maybe a risky gamble, but at the end it may pay off for both teams at the end.
So thinking back to last year's Unlimited, I think there were like 2 wrecks that were really big, and then there was another one. A lot of backup cars as a result. What are your guys' expectations for tonight's race? Are we going to have a calmer race, or are we going to have, that same kind of a thing from last year?
The storm.
Yeah.
The storm.
Well, seeing as though it's going to be cool, it's going to be really cold tonight, like in the low 30s out there. So tires are probably going to be slick.
So
Wreckfest.
I would think in the first part of the race it'd be like there'd be one big wreck, ends the race, and then so on. The wrecks just get more further into the race. At one point it'd be like at the very end of the lap, and then another wreck would just be in the middle of the lap, and then it'd be wreck at the beginning.
So we got the Sprint Unlimited tonight. So let's.
You got ARCA this afternoon too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I love the ARCA because these guys, because they don't know how to drive and they always wreck.
Who wants to see Bobby Gerhardt win again?
I wouldn't mind.
He's the Richard Petty of this race.
Oh, the one ARCA race I had to watch, John West Townley won. So
I was at that one. I was
last year. Last year, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm only able to see the Nationwide series because that's the only thing free over here in England.
Watch it on live stream.
John West Townley won it, I swore, in 2013 because I was at that. I don't think I went to the Sprint Unlimited.
I think it was 2013 because I live streamed that race.
My
yeah,
bad.
it was 2013 he won because I didn't go to the Sprint Unlimited last year. I went to the Duels.
Yeah. But
yeah, I live streamed the West Townley
Yeah, he got in
win.
trouble for it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, did
Or
I?
was that... Yeah, I remember you said he took it down because of the whole
No, it's
copyright
still.
thing.
I thought it was still up. I don't know.
Well-
Maybe.
Yeah, and somebody mentioned Nationwide. I'll still call it Nationwide. I'm gonna have trouble calling it Xfinity.
I can't call
Yeah.
it Xfinity. I
Some
just
people
I
still
still
call
are
it some,
NASCAR
some
Xfinity
people,
series.
some people still call it the Busch Series.
I still do.
I still do.
Yeah, the Bush series.
I mean,
in fact-
I'm still having trouble trying to call the Sprint Unlimited the Sprint Unlimited. I keep wanting to call it the Budweiser Shootout. So I mean,
It'll always.
Uh,
I'll never call it the Sprint Unlimited.
and the
It'll always
the
be Busch
Gatorade
Shootout
Duels.
to me.
I can't call them the Budweiser Duels. I always call them the Gatorade Duels. So you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's look ahead to the rest of Speed Weeks. Of course, we'll be having the big Daytona 500 episode next Saturday, but we got, of course, the pole day qualifying, which will take place tomorrow, and we have a pretty big doggone lineup of drivers trying to make the 500, and a couple of surprise names there too. So who are you guys looking at to kind of be ones to watch in tomorrow's qualifying session?
Everybody. No, Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh.
What, the
I
89,
agree with-
the
I agree
89
with
Morgan
Michael's
Shepherd car
first,
come
man.
back on the track?
I don't know. Joe Nemechek already withdrawn from the 500, so he's not going to be in it.
Oh.
He's not going to be in qualifying.
Why?
Why did he?
I don't know. He withdrew yesterday.
That was
That
only,
makes
what, a week after he announced he was going to be racing it?
I guess so.
Okay, that's
Um,
odd.
Hang on.
I'm-
That makes it the latest among the few drivers who will not be running Daytona in any of the series. Makes it the latest in that list.
Well, speaking of the pull day thing,
Go on.
the pull day thing, right? I would look at the Stuart Haas cars or the Joe Gibbs cars. I would think, because even them two may get a car on pole or even on the front row. I reckon.
I can't wait for qualifying because there's no big hype this year. So there's not like somebody who everyone's gonna be like, oh, he's definitely gonna win the pole.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just no hype this year, so it's gonna be good.
I mean, I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what's going to happen. You got Reed Sorensen in the 44. You got Cole Witt. You got so many different drivers that we recognize from not
Jeb
only
Burton.
Jeb Burton in the 26. I mean, drivers moving in this year from last year and from previous years as well that we maybe didn't really expect to see here in the Sprint Cup Series this year. I think it's actually going to be a good qualifying session as far as trying to battle for a spot in the 500 field.
It's that stupid knockout qualifying. What's so good about that?
Well, that's a good point, but hey, it's almost like a race though. So
I actually got one driver I do want to eyeball. I've got eyeballed from Ford, and that's Sam Hornish Jr.
yeah,
And because I saw Sam Hornish when he was in IndyCar, yada yada yada. But I think he could be a dark horse. I think.
there's always this talk about rushing younger drivers to get up in the Sprint Cup Series, and I think that was the case. I think that was the case with Hornish when they moved him up
Jeb
to
Burton.
Penske. Yeah, Jeb Burton, same thing. I mean, if you look at it, you got Hornish. He came up. He was okay, but he wasn't, so dynamic like you watched him every single week. They sent him back down. He raced in the Nationwide Series, or now the Xfinity Series, and now they bring him back up. I think this is what they needed to do from the get-go, rather than move him immediately from, racing open-wheel
IndyCar.
cars and coming then directly to Sprint Cup.
Which
Yeah.
reminds me that what do you guys think about Chase Elliott moving up and running 5 races this year and moving up?
Yeah.
Next
Well, see, this
year?
is what they got to do.
He's already a champion. He's already a champion.
Well, I
so-
think
Sorry,
for
yeah.
every
Yeah.
single developmental driver, this is what they've got to do. Run them still in Nationwide and give them a little taste of Sprint Cup Series before you bring them up full-time to Sprint Cup Series schedule.
Yeah, don't make the same. Yeah, don't make the same mistake like they did with Dario Franchitti.
Exactly. That year was so stupid. They brought in Hornish, they brought in Franchitti, they brought in Villeneuve, they brought in, I think it was they brought in Montoya, even though he had run Homestead.
What year was that? Was that like 2007?
No, that was
2008.
2008.
Yeah, 2008.
And it was ridiculous because they were hyping up like, oh my goodness, all these open wheel drivers coming in, and very few of them did anything.
Dario Franchitti did so horrible in the
2008 was probably the worst season by far for NASCAR.
Yeah,
he did so bad in the 40. It was embarrassing.
It was, and you know, I'm not saying it necessarily they would have done a lot better, but if they had run in Nationwide and gotten a little bit of experience of that type of racing and then moved up to Sprint Cup the following year, I don't think it would have hurt.
Yeah, because Dario Franchitti, he was only in NASCAR for like 1 year, right?
Yeah, he left after 2008.
Wow.
Went back to IndyCars and break his freaking back.
Yeah.
And we've killed that. But I mean, it's really stupid. I mean, you've gone from Tony Stewart, it wasn't, because he was IndyCar champion, and then when he went to NASCAR, it was like a I can't think. Bloody hell, shit. Balls.
At least Montoya won. A NASCAR race. Franchitti didn't do a thing.
Well, going back to the Tony Stewart thing, Nathan. I mean, when you think about it too, NASCAR was a lot different then than it is now.
Yeah, because
99's when Stewart come along.
Oh, damn it! You stole my line.
Sorry.
I was gonna say Stewart came along in '99, and then it took him 4 years to win his first title, and then no wait, was it 4? 4 years?
See, he won 2002, didn't he?
Three.
Was it 3?
2003.
Yes, 4 years, and that's really a good improvement, because if you went from open wheelers to NASCAR, you would be expected to win the title within the first 5 years. That's my opinion. That's what I have to say, really.
I mean, when you think about it, I'm on board with you, Qualls, on the fact that they're rushing Jeb Burton. I mean, he's run trucks. That's one thing, but I don't think trucks are exactly the best stepping stone, if you know, so to speak, to get into a Sprint Cup Series car.
And of course, 2010 will always be the year to live in infamy with me as far as open wheel drivers.
I mean, I know they've said that I think it was the Nationwide Series driver, but I can't remember who it was. It was a Nationwide Series driver said that there is such a differential between the speed of the Nationwide cars as compared to the Sprint Cup Series cars, but you know, still it's the same somewhat design as the Sprint Cup cars. So you know, I would think that'd be a better transition than from a truck to a Sprint Cup car.
That actually goes back to the 90s when they started making the Cup car. Started making Nationwide cars like Cup cars.
I still say that the Nationwide cars need to go back to the Gen 5 body. That's just me, though.
Yeah, same here.
I've got no comment.
So we got the we got the Sprint Unlimited covered, we've got Pole Day Qualifying covered, and then of course we have the Budweiser Duels, which are going to be on Thursday.
At night.
Yeah, nighttime duels. Your guys' thoughts on that? I mean,
I went to the first night race of the Duels. I was sat right in turn 4 where Clint Boyer flipped over. And
whoa!
I think it's funny as that each race almost finished 3 wide, pretty much. But I don't think the duels are that exciting anymore.
Well, here's the thing that I'm thinking of. I mean, I'm not certain if it's going to be a running trend for all of Speed Weeks, but the fact that drivers backed out of running the Sprint Unlimited almost makes me wonder if we're going to have a very calm Budweiser Duel night.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, if they're not willing to put their cars out on the racetrack for the Sprint Unlimited, it makes me wonder if we're gonna see, maybe the field completely broken apart, or if we're gonna see a lot more single file racing and the duels and everything. It seems like there's a more cautious mentality coming into the 2015 Speed Weeks, but that's just me.
I have to agree with you on that point, really.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so of course next week is going to be the Daytona 500 thing, but do you guys want to make any early predictions for the 500, or do you want to wait till after
Jeff,
Speed Week?
Let's wait.
Jeff
Let's
Gordon.
wait. Let's wait, because everyone's gonna vote for Gordon since this is his last one.
I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna predict anyone, but I'm gonna say the race may have to stop at some point.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been a Gordon fan ever since I started getting into NASCAR in 2002. But the honest truth is, I wouldn't mind putting aside not seeing Gordon win the 500 to have another finish like 2011.
Yeah.
Trevor Bayne.
Yeah.
Trevor Bayne.
I mean that was probably one of the more exciting finishes of the 500 that I've seen since
What
I
if
started
Larson
watching.
wins
That
it?
was awesome. Trevor Bayne winning it. That was awesome.
That was amazing.
And guess where he is now? Guess
Yeah.
where he is now?
Hey,
He's
At
back.
my number.
He's with
At my
Roush.
number.
this gonna be pretty. That's another drive that we didn't really discuss. I mean, Trevor Bayne in the 6th there. I mean, that's gonna be interesting. And in my opinion, I think he's gonna be the guy that's gonna take the reins of Roush Fenway Racing over Stenhouse.
What from
What if Larson wins the
Edwards?
500?
I mean, Larson probably could do it, but I don't know. I don't see Larson as much of a restrictor plate racer as I do those mile-and-a-half tracks.
How many times did Larson come in second last year? Like 3 times?
Yeah.
I definitely see Larson winning this year. I definitely see it.
Yeah.
I would say I would like to see possibly one of the Chevys making the line first. I'm just saying what manufacturer is going to make it first, and that's it.
Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for our first episode of NASCAR Talk 2015. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this.
I can't
That's
resist.
no
problem.
Johanna, please come back.
Sore throat and all. I'm still here.
All right,
It's been a blast.
So not necessarily going to be having the next episode running on Saturday morning, because of course there's a little bit of editing that goes in and everything, and I want to get these out on Saturday before the races and everything. And of course with the 500 next week, probably not going to be waiting until Saturday to be doing the next episode. So if anybody would like to join us for the next episode, it's open to anybody to be able to join here on Skype for the talk show, and you can let me know, and we'll try and I'll definitely be posting on Facebook when the next recording of the 500 episode is going to be. So thank you all, everybody, for watching. For everybody that was here in the talk show today, the links to their channels are in the description, so you can check their channels out on YouTube. And I'll let everybody say whatever they want to say before we say goodbye for the first episode here.
I'm covered in cookie crumbs.
Yeah, we know. We saw the promo. Everyone saw the promo.
Keep fighting by the moonlight.
Johanna,
McKinley Man
please come
93
back.
rocks. McKinley Man 93 rocks.
All right, see you next week, everybody.
Squishy! Squishy!
Bye.
Squishy. My little squishy.
Squishy!
Squishy.
Welcome
Okay,
back.
so